When I was just a little girl, I was diagnosed with fairly severe asthma. As an athlete, I had to keep my inhaler with me at all times, using it more than once during competition. Asthma has been a constant thorn in my side. It has limited my athletic performance. Over the years, it has led to several bouts of bronchitis and pneumonia. When I get a cold of any kind, it triggers my asthma and knocks me on my butt for days. It has been a constant source of frustration, and it has taught me so much about where I find my acceptance. Several years ago, I had a bad case of pneumonia that required 3 different rounds of antibiotics, steroids, and missing a month of work. During this time, I not only struggled physically, but I began to struggle mentally and emotionally. Because I had some time on my hands, I began to do some internal digging. Here's what I learned about myself. I found acceptance when I was achieving, being productive, and working. If I couldn't achieve, work, or be productive, I started to do what I call a shame spiral, and I would start to question my worth and identity. I realized that my shame cycle was this: I must achieve. When I achieve, I find sustenance. I can keep going as long as I was sustained by my achievements. I felt I earned approval, and as long as I had approval, I found acceptance. I realized that this cycle is what led to a physical, mental, and emotional crash I experienced. It was also the source of much of my stress and exhaustion in life. Instead, I had to learn how to reverse the cycle in this way. I needed to stand firm on the foundation of acceptance, that I was wholly seen and wholly loved for who I am, not what I do. From there, I embraced the fact that I am also approved of because of who I am. This foundation sustained me, it fueled me, and from there, achievement just naturally flowed out of me. I call this the cycle of doing versus being. So how does this relate to holistic fitness? In my years working as a professional in the fitness industry, I have seen time and time again clients operating out of a cycle of doing, which brings great shame, versus being. The cycle of doing can feel burdensome. It lends to stress and inconsistency because it's not sustainable. Whereas the clients I've worked with who have worked with me on operating in a cycle of being experience freedom and hope and consistency in their fitness journey. Their physical bodies are healthy and their workouts are consistent. They're not overworking themselves because their acceptance is not dependent on the number of workouts they get in a week or the intensity of those workouts. Mentally and emotionally, they're able to stay in a place of positivity and objectivity because their acceptance, worth, and identity isn't dependent on their achievement and performance. And ironically, they start to grow and flourish as a whole person. Achievement and performance just start to happen because they're being sustained on a foundation of acceptance.